Once we have understood what it is somebody is buying, we've got to get back to the very first time they thought about this to start filling in the timeline of progress. In this example here, it's relatively simple. I'm talking to a chap called Frank, and he's completing his PhD. They've discovered some medical device or medical opportunity to create a device to measure cardiac information that will help patients. And he thinks, well, maybe this is time to turn this into a business. This is all about him joining an accelerator program. And if you listen in here, here's what causes Frank to first think, hey, maybe I need some external help to learn what it is to build my own business. So then can you maybe talk to me a little bit, like when was the first thought that you needed to find this this program, or like what was going on in your mind that made you reach out for more assistance or mentorship or all the other things that you were mentioning versus just doing it yourself?
Yeah, I like we knew like right off the bat, like we couldn't do it ourselves. Just like because we don't have that experience, we don't have the knowledge, and then you don't want to like just give it away, right? Because then the moment you start talking to people about it, like you're kind of like disclosing it to the public. So I think one of the research associates who had like experience commercializing lab research before, so we actually documented everything, and then just trying to like protect ourselves, right? So we went to like a patent lawyer to make sure we get the provisional patent, at least like in North America. I think like that's how you go about it. You get a provisional patent, and then you have like 1 year to submit a full patent to get approval. So that's like actually what we did first. And then after that, like the more we talked about it, just like talk to people about this idea, like people like who have done a startup in like science or research related topics for companies like biotech companies. And the more we just realize, oh, there's so much more that we just don't know about, right? They talk about like, oh, you got to do your, back of the envelope calculations. You got to do your value proposition statements. You got to do your team. You need a logo. You need a website. You need a white paper. You need like all these things. And then we don't know. I have no idea how to do it. And then that's when we started to like, just like research online. Like, is there anything that we can do? Do we need to hire someone to like help us just like formalize these documents or like formalize these things, or is there something that we can go through? And then I think the university actually had a lot of resources that we just didn't know about. They have like a whole network of like people who are trying to do the same things. The university has like a patent office. They have like a translational office. And then they have like these like startup accelerator programs that I just didn't know about, to be honest. That's like when we started to like, oh, maybe we should do it.
So there you are. That's an example of a first thought. And that first thought is triggered by a few things. So obviously he's creating a new medical device or whatever it is. The second thing is that they know that they need to protect this IP. So they're going off to patent it. Now, I wouldn't call those things the first thoughts, but they're happening before the first thought. Once they've patented it, then they start getting asked questions that they can't answer. Things like, give us back of the fag packet calculations about your business. What's your value proposition? How are you going to hire people and run this organization? It's at that point Frank thinks, I have no idea how to do this. And that triggers him to go off looking for other solutions that exist out there. And in this case, it's a university accelerator program that exists on his campus. If I ran that program, or if I were targeting people like Frank, how would I use this? Well, I would go back and I would say, well, anybody who's coming up with new ideas and is patenting them is likely to be doing it because they might want to commercialize it. And if they don't come from business school background, they're probably going to need our help to do it. So I'd partner with the patent office and I would get them to refer every single person who comes in to our program so that they can be prepared and we have the better chance of winning that additional business. Cheers.